session. I'm joined by Sheriff A.J. Smith. Sheriff Smith, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Brady.
Tell me sort of what you guys are facing in Franklin County when it comes to COVID-19 and sort of trying to get folks to recognize how serious this is.
Well, we've had 2 cases, I guess, in the last week or so, and so I think that was a wake-up call to us that we're not immune, because initially all the other counties, or a lot of the other counties, were picking up cases. Things were moving quicker across the country, and we still didn't see any cases, and then it hit us. We had a couple of cases, kind of back to back, so I think people are beginning to take it very seriously. I think a lot of people initially did, and it's still people that aren't. Like, I had a call this morning from a guy who's a fisherman in another county. He's like, "Hey, I want to come over and take a group out fishing." I said, "Well, look, we're trying to keep people out of the county to reduce the spread, and I can't prohibit you, but I'm asking you not to." And actually tomorrow I'm going to be going to the county commission and asking them to give us a little more power and to do a couple of things that I think will slow down just whoever decides they want to come through Franklin County to go fishing or go to the beach. So we got to continue to take it seriously, and we're going to start a campaign probably tomorrow, to encourage people to social distance. Non-essential travel, don't do it. And, wash your hands. The folks here are wearing their face mask, and we're doing everything we can. So we're very concerned, and we want the public to, follow suit.
Yeah, I think what people don't realize is that if there's a spread in the county, the first people who are going to get hit with it are first responders, like your deputies, right?
Correct. And that's one of the things that...
Go ahead.
No, that's one of the things that we've reiterated to all the staff here, that, keep your distance when you're dealing with people. We're not shaking hands with folks. And it's really hard, even when I'm out in the community and I see somebody and we start talking and we don't shake hands and we're keeping our distance. It's hard to get used to, but we have to do it. And it's because that's the only way we're going to keep this, this virus from spreading in our community.
Yeah. Have you been able to get the sort of protective equipment you need for your deputies and your folks who work for you?
We have just enough to get by. We could use more. We actually were talking to our emergency management and to the state EOC yesterday about getting some additional face masks. I mean, we've been fortunate. We have people here in the community that actually have been making the face mask at home. They've been sewing them. They sewed them I gave them some old deputy shirts, the polyester, and they made some masks. And other people are doing it. So we're just taking everything we can, and we're, a lot of stuff's back ordered. Hand sanitizer, face mask, all that stuff has been back ordered. It's hard to get, to get a hold of. And I know the hospital up here, I think, has had the same problem.
Yeah. Now, you guys obviously had, at least one sort of incident where a guy a senator from Georgia, after he was diagnosed, drove down to Franklin County. Talk about what happened and how you dealt with that.
Well, some folks learned he was coming to the county. They called me and advised me of it, and that's how I got his phone number. So I called him. He was en route, and I just asked him, because it was on his Facebook. I looked at his Facebook. He was in ICU a few days before that, and I just asked him, I said, don't come to Franklin County. If you do, you have to quarantine, and everybody here is going to totally freak out when they hear that somebody that's had the virus is coming here. And we're a small community. You can't help but interact with people, and he decided to come anyway.
Okay. And so you called him. I didn't realize you'd called him before he even showed up. So he came anyway.
Yeah.
So what did you do at that point?
Well, there are no secrets in a small county, and obviously I found out since then that quite a few people knew he was coming even before I got tipped off about it. And so a lot of people knew he was coming. So that right there shows you that they were going to talk about it. So it would have been no time before the entire county would have known he was here, and they would have been like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why aren't you doing anything?" So, and of course I took it seriously too, because here's someone from, the Atlanta area that's had the virus, been in intensive care, and now is coming to our county. Yeah, I was really concerned about it, and I thought, why come now? I mean, he said it was for his health. His doctor recommended it. Well, there's a lot of sunshine in Georgia. Their climate's not a lot different than ours, and just stay there till this thing passes.
Sure.
But he felt like it was. He felt like he should come, and and then also I found out later that he brought other people with him.
Right. And I mean, it would be one thing, I suppose, if he just came by himself, but, who knows if he's infected other people and they don't know they're infected yet. If they're all living together, then that would be pretty concerning. And
Yes,
I assume if they're down here, they're going to want to go to the grocery store or something, in Franklin County, right?
right, and they're going to go to the beach. I mean, he has a really nice house in the plantation, on the beach, and so I know that. And people actually, the morning he got here, there were people fishing in the Gulf of Mexico that were saying they saw him on the beach interacting with people. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's kind of what they were saying. So that's when we put a plan together to just put a deputy on his house and make sure that he quarantined.
You've said that you're going to go to the county commission and ask for some more authority to help deal with some of the situations that you're seeing in Franklin County. What does that entail? What kind of authority do you believe you need?
Complete beach closure, closing the boat ramps, and setting up checkpoints on the roads coming into the county so that we can make sure that whoever's coming here lives here or is a property owner, not just somebody coming from Georgia to go fishing or something like that.
All right.
Which we talked on the beach, we're still getting a lot of that.
You're still seeing a lot of basically tourism, even in the middle of this?
Well, we're having a lot of calls about properties being rented that shouldn't be, so we're following up on that. A lot of people, I mean, I don't know how many texts I got yesterday and today about out-of-state tags. So it takes a lot of resources to run all that stuff down to find out how long have they been here, where are they staying. So if we had these checkpoints, we could see where they're going and follow up if necessary. I mean, the state checkpoints that they set up on I-10 and I-95, where they came through and then they documented where these people were going. None of that has been communicated to the local counties as far as I know. Nobody's called me and said, hey, we stopped 39 people and they're coming to Franklin County and here's where they're staying. That would have been helpful information for me, but
Sure.
We've received none of it. Like I had a tip today, a lady called me and said, hey, there's a person in your county who just came from Louisiana, and they went through the checkpoint because the lady told her that they filled out all kind of paperwork, but we've yet to see anything from the state about where these people are going. Or at least I haven't. Maybe some of the other counties have. I have not seen any of it.
That's not doesn't seem like a very helpful checkpoint if they're letting people through and then not letting the sheriff know of the county who's coming into their county.
Right now, whether they're doing it for other counties, I don't know. If somebody's received this information, it's not me, but I feel most likely that we would be the ones who would have to follow up on it to see
Sure.
if these people are actually quarantining, like the folks that I got the tip on that came from Louisiana. They need to quarantine 14 days, and
Have you checked with the health department? Does anybody at the health department know who's here and who isn't here?
We've received none of that information, and we've been working very closely with the state health department here. We have a great relationship with them. They've been doing a fantastic job, just like the emergency management here is not under the sheriff, it's under the county. Same there, we've been working with them. So we talk a lot amongst ourselves, so I think if that information had been supplied to them, that we would have it.
Are there penalties for folks who are renting out in this time, or I mean, is there anything you can do to somebody who's either still actively encouraging tourists to come down?
Yes, it's per the governor's order, it's a second-degree misdemeanor, so we can charge them, but we have to be able to prove it first. And if we go to a house where somebody saw a tag, which we've been doing a lot of, and they say, well, I've been here since the 24th, and there's no way we can prove differently, then we don't have a case. So if we had a checkpoint and we saw somebody coming through and they said they're going to 300 Ocean Mile, for example, that they've rented a place, well, number one, we'd know that they're not supposed to be renting those places. And if it was their home and they were coming here, then we would tell them, you got to, if they came from Louisiana or Georgia, you have a 14-day quarantine, and they may decide they don't want to stay, or at least if they did, we could check and make sure that they are quarantining.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to kind of pull all this together, there are a couple of things it sounds like you need. You need better communication from the state. You're asking the county to close the beaches, and some more authority here to sort of deal with people who are still coming into your county. Does that all sound about right?
Yeah, that's about right. And I don't know if you've seen some of the data that's been put out by a group about it has to do with non-essential travel, and they're rating each county,
right?
A through F. Have you seen that?
Yeah. I think Unicast or something like that is the name of that, but I've definitely seen that.
So anyway, we looked at it yesterday. We are a C, and one of the things that we're going to do in the next few days is try to communicate more with the county and the folks here and say, hey, let's do better. Let's get it to an A. And that's going to minimize our risk of getting the virus. That'll be one way to help. So we're going to start a campaign about that. And we'll probably be following up with y'all, letting you know what we're going to do. We have a couple ideas that we want to push out so that maybe we can get a better grade, because we're still seeing people moving around and they probably don't need to be. And that's one of the things that people need to stay home. We keep telling them if it's not essential travel, stay home, but we're still having people that are coming into the county and some of the folks here that are traveling and are riding around or doing whatever, non-essential travel. I know it's hard to stay home, but, it will pay off in the long run, and that's what I think everybody's got to keep in mind, that it's going to make us healthier. And, small as we are, one case, if I had one person here who got it, it could literally infect the entire organization, and then, just think where we'd be.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder, when you talk about that essential travel, I wonder if your rating gets lowered just because it's kind of a larger area and it's a rural area. You got to drive longer to get to the grocery store or something like that. Have you guys looked at that at all?
Well, I don't know what they're using to put their data together, so I couldn't really answer that. Mm-hmm. But I know it has to do with cell phone movement, so they're tracking, how many phones are pinging off a certain tower. And so, but here in Franklin County, if you live in Carabel or Apalachicola, you have a grocery store. So, maybe you come from Alligator Point, or maybe you come from, even the island has grocery stores as well. So there's really not a lot of need for people to be moving all over the county.
Yeah. How bad do you think the economic hit in Franklin County is going to be? Have you sort of been dealing with people who either who've lost their job and now they're having trouble getting food or affording the things they need to pay for?
Well, that is one of the things that a lot of people are struggling with now, because we're a service industry. We're a tourist destination, and a lot of the folks that work in restaurants and bars and some of the folks that clean houses and stuff, they're without work. So I'm sure they're struggling already. And I know that the stimulus package has paid for some of these people if the employer puts in for it. And I've talked to a lot of employers who are doing those things so they can keep paying some of these people. But a lot of the service industry folks are just without anything. And one of the things that I know Franklin County is, we're a resilient community and we help each other. We had the fires right after I first got elected, and we had Hurricane Michael. Now we're having this. And one thing I will say, everybody comes together very well. We're a strong community, and I know we're going to overcome this, but it's going to be hard. And there's a lot of businesses who've never been closed. A lot of the retail businesses, like in downtown Apalachicola and Carabel, who have been in business for a long time, and now the doors are shut. And so I know it's got to be a huge, not only, just mentally what it's doing to the folks that are having to close their doors. I know it's got to be tough.
All right, Sheriff, I want to let you wrap this up. What's the biggest thing you want to tell the public right now?
Well, the biggest thing I want to tell the public is we will get through this, and we've been through a lot in the past, and that if they'll stay home and cut down on the non-essential travel, it's going to make it less likely that we're going to get more cases. And if we can do anything for them from the sheriff's office perspective, we're here. And that, it's good to live in a community that really cares and loves each other the way that the folks in Franklin County do. And even the folks that don't live here, they've been good to us. And, we will get through this. And I think when it's over with, I think we're going to see a flood of tourists come back here. People are going to want to come here. I've had a few, said some stuff on Facebook. We'll never come back there again. And I'm like, well, there's going to be plenty of people to come here because we have our beaches are beautiful, our fishing's good. It's a great place to live and visit. So I know people will be back, and it's tough right now, but just bear with us. We don't want to close our borders either. We don't want to close our businesses, but we have to so that we can be healthy and that we can survive.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we will catch you guys next time.
All right. Thanks a lot, Brady. We appreciate it.
Thank you.